All right. All right. We will call this meeting to order today on Thursday, March 13th at 5:01 p.m. in 6 seconds. Commissioner LeBlanc is on her way, but in the meantime, we will start out with our commissioner roll call.
Commissioner Mazzata, present.
Commissioner Gardner, present.
And Commissioner Becker, present. Commissioner Mazzota, would you like to do the invocation, or shall we go to the pledge?
Is there a particular prayer that we have to do? Or
No, we don't have to do any. That's
Okay.
just if you choose to.
No, I think we can.
Well, how about we'll skip it tonight and
We'll
we'll
just
go.
do the
Oh, there's
pledge.
sure.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
Do you have one picked out already?
You know what?
Or do you want to just go to the pledge?
Let's just do the Lord's Prayer.
Please stand with us for the pledge.
Oh, we're doing the pledge. I was going to do the Lord's Prayer first. All right. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Lead us not into
And forgive us of our trespasses, and lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you so much. And I'd like to remind everyone to put their phones on silent or no ring or vibrate or anything that's not loud. All right, and Commissioner LeBlanc, could you state for the roll call?
Commissioner LeBlanc, present.
All right, thank you. Okay. So, before we start getting into stuff, I'm going to have a commissioner statement again. All right, so, hello, everyone. Commissioner Gleason submitted her resignation letter yesterday. I'd like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to Ms. Gleason for her dedication to public service over the past 2 years. She contributed significantly to the board, and we extend our best wishes to her and her family. Moving forward, the Department of Agriculture's Commissioner, Mr. Wilton Simpson, will be responsible, along with the governor, for appointing a successor to complete Mrs. Gleason's term, which concludes on December 31st, 2026. An application will soon be available on our website for individuals interested in this role, and I highly encourage the public to consider qualified candidates who would be valuable addition to our district. Those with a background in government, finance, science, or public administration would be particularly well suited for this position. Like all agencies, we are not without challenges. However, our unwavering commitment to protecting St. Johns County from mosquito-borne diseases remains steadfast, a dedication that has prevailed since 1949. This commitment is upheld by our exceptional team of technicians who provide necessary treatments and exemplary customer service. Our science teams conduct research and innovate environmentally friendly solutions. Our aerial teams monitor from above like an eagle eye. Our engineers develop new methodologies and tools. Our education team and the DVEC, who witness the enthusiasm of residents during our engaging and free weekly events. Additionally, our administrative teams ensure compliance with spending, scheduling, grants, and policies. The new commissioner will have the privilege of working with Dr. Shu, who has devoted his career to combating mosquito viruses his entire life. Dr. Shu has secured $1.4 million in grants just last year for our district, while also supporting the education of others and encouraging community involvement in mosquito control. Furthermore, the board is fully committed to earning the trust and pride of our citizens in all our endeavors. We strive to ensure smooth operations while safeguarding residents, visitors, animals, and the environment from mosquito viruses and the associated nuisances they cause. Notably, we maintain the lowest millage rate among any Florida mosquito districts, approximately $26 a household. For those that are interested in serving the public, making a positive impact in local government without having to navigate the complexities usually aligned with political candidacy, I highly encourage you or someone you know to apply. And thank you once again to Ms. Gleason for her service. Now we'll move on to approval of the consent agenda. Oh.
Citizen participation.
I'm sorry?
Citizen participation for items not on the agenda. Number 5.
Okay. Do we have any citizens' participation for items not listed on the agenda?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Slavin, did you fill out a card?
No, but I shall.
Okay, thank you.
Ed Slavin, box 3084, candidate for AMCD, seat 4. First of all, I really miss Commissioner Gleason. We ran against each other, but respected each other greatly, and she did a fantastic job. She raised concerns about cost overruns, 40% cost overruns on the Mosquito Museum. She raised concerns about the HR policies here. She was right. She wrote in her resignation letter, which is on my blog at slavin.com, I have come to the realization that there are deeper issues within AMCD that require more than just policy updates or changes. I have witnessed financial and operational mismanagement issues and have become aware of serious HR issues, including a culture of intimidation and retribution that prevent employees from speaking out. It is clear to me that significant changes must be made to ensure the well-being of both employees and taxpayers. And as legal counsel for constitutional rights at the Government Accountability Project, the nonprofit in Washington, D.C., from 89 to 93, I was honored then and later to represent ethical employee whistleblowers in nuclear power plants and nuclear weapons plants and elsewhere in America. And there is a culture of fear and retaliation, not only in Oak Ridge, where we got the biggest mercury pollution event in world history declassified, but throughout our governments, including this board. It came to my attention earlier today that our PhDs, 5 of them, 4 or 5 of them, are required as a condition of their employment, as assigned, to clean toilets. To clean toilets. That's wrong. That should not be allowed. We need to revise all of our policies. The policy committee, Ms. Becker, that you chaired earlier today, needs to address things like that. Employees need to know that there's a place that they can go and a person they can talk to, and that they can write their commissioners without their communications being monitored, that they can talk to their commissioners without their communications being monitored by the staff. If you're complaining about something that's illegal or unfair or just wrong, you need to be able to talk to somebody. You need to have an open forum with someone. We need a new director, we need a new CFO, and we need a new business manager. And we need to ensure civility, because Ms. Gleason was treated very disrespectfully by 3 of the staff people and was not provided with timely information and was insulted publicly. And then the person who insulted her never came back to a meeting as long as she was here. That's a few of my concerns. We need to have mediation on public records requests. Some of mine have been pending now since spring of 2024. And we need to have Pat Gleason, no relation, in the State Attorney General's office mediate, and that's her job. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Slavin.
Thank you.
All right, so do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
A motion to
You have
approve.
to approve the agenda first, and then the consent.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Okay. And all those in favor of approving the agenda, raise your hand.
Aye.
Hands. Okay. All right, next is the consent agenda. Does anyone have anything to add to that?
Yes, so I would like to motion that we have to add an addendum to adjust the minutes for the committee meeting, or I'm sorry, for this meeting, which was already taken care of by Heather, so she went and reprinted.
Sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
there's corrections to February's board meeting minutes that I made this afternoon for Commissioner Mazzola will see that next to you.
Sorry. You will see that next to you. It says revised today in red, and then whatever was
So-
changed is in red and highlighted.
So not an
Okay.
addendum?
Yes.
Just a revision.
Yeah, so we're noting that there's a revision in the minutes.
So I'd like to make a motion for the revision of the consent agenda for last month. on
The
minutes.
attorney said you didn't have to make a motion, but that you did have to note that there was that change.
Make a motion to note. She said,
Yes.
oh, yeah. So I'd like to make a motion to note that the consent agenda from the previous month, which would be February 2025, the minutes have been changed.
Okay. All right, so do I have a motion to accept February's amended minutes
I'll make a motion.
and the rest of the consent agenda?
I'll make a
Because
motion
this is-
to approve the revised edition.
All right, and now do we have a second? Second, okay.
Second.
And all those, say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous, thank you. Okay, so now we'll move on to unfinished business number one, which is our contract between AMCD and Frontier Precision.
Thank you, Chair. First, I really thank you, our business manager, Mr. Weaver, and the other staff, and help, also lawyer, back and forth, almost how many weeks? 3 weeks already. So we back and forth all include the company. Finally, we get the lawyer approved, and everything seems ready to go. So about in January approved the RFP, then February, so back and forth, and now so finally it's everything. Really, they look very good. We can, after the board approval, they can start contact with the company, start doing the work. The lawyer has some kind of, Ms. Hardy has some kind of form called a resolution. So in your, you can just following the language she proposed, need a motion for that and discussion.
Yes, Madam Chair, on the back page of the requested action, you'll see the motion to approve Resolution FY 2425-02. It's on the back page.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bean, I couldn't hear you.
I couldn't hear you either, sir.
On the second page, on the back page, it's printed front and back. There is a requested action, and you'll find this on all the items going forward. And that's what the district is suggesting that you all approve. There's the requested action, so you just have to ask the motion to approve. Need someone to move that.
And do I need to read the resolution out
No,
loud?
you don't.
No, okay. All right, so do I have a motion on the approval on this contract, and then a second, and then some discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve the contract with Frontier.
Commissioner Gardner made a motion.
Question, there's a resolution of contract and a license service agreement. Do we need to make a motion for all three, or is that motion be all together?
It can be all, it can, right. Go ahead. That's right. Yep.
So I guess my motion is to pass the resolution.
Correct.
So a motion to approve resolution, fiscal year 24-25. The resolution authorizes direct contract with Frontier Precision in not to exceed the amount of $211,315 to update or replace AMCD's database mapping, internal phone app, and public phone app. I have a first, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Commissioner LeBlanc seconds. All right, and any discussions on this? I know that we have talked about this quite a lot, so we might not have that much
Badly
discussion,
needed, yes.
but it is badly needed, I agree. Okay, all right, so, public comment? Okay, seeing none.
Actually, Chair, I actually have just a question. So I see on on that, on Exhibit A, so it'll be page 5. On the RFP, the scope of services is blank. So I just see costs of what they're to be paid, but I don't see any scope. So that's my only question is what are we allotting this amount of money for them to do?
Well, that's what this resolution is.
That's in all the
Yeah.
resolution,
Yeah.
that's the whole
It,
scope is in there? Okay,
And you
Got
also,
the agreement,
okay.
has the qualifications.
And this was
The scope
reviewed
of
by the
work.
DA? Okay,
Commissioner Mazzotto, on page 8 is the scope of work in this.
thank you, okay, on that one.
Unfinished business number 1 on page
and
8.
Exhibit
I got it.
C, Exhibit C.
Thank you so much.
Has the payment schedule, breaks it
Thank you.
down.
So it's got all the structures, the fee schedules, what we're gonna use, how we're gonna use it, what are all the parts, the part numbers, the laws. I think we've got everything, and there were a couple things that were missing that have been added.
Correct.
Copy
So,
that. Yep.
is there any other discussion on anything that we see here? I mean, you need a couple minutes to look at it?
No, I just reviewed it, just glanced over it, it's a lot, looks like it's
It's
covered
40,
pretty well.
whatever pages.
So, yeah, it was reviewed by the DA.
Todd just has us
Yep.
covered to a T. huh?
Yep, thank you.
Oh, okay, so we'll take a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, aye. Okay, pass, unanimous. Now we'll move on to unfinished business number 2, which is the approval of the contract between AMCD and Gruen May Inc.
Yeah, the drainage
And-
is the same like database software. We offer RFP, generally spend about 40 minutes talking about this. Then give authority, board approve to negotiation contract. So thank you for Mr. Weaver and our lawyer, and work back and forth almost 4 weeks and deal with this. Finally, also the agents, the company agree, our language, so they're ready to go. So that's the very important current rainfall. You see that in the southeast area, water area, the potable pool cannot use. It also affect the central chicken in many ways. Affect it. We need to quickly do this. Strange. Thank you.
And then like Dr. Shu was saying, the prior actions we've taken, we had a motion to cancel the request for the proposal. Then we had a motion to approve the resolution that's attached. And that authorized a direct contract with Gruen not to exceed $363,500 for permitting and construction, draining, repair. Then we had to change it again, and we motioned to allow the staff to approve the change order up to 5% of the contract cost, not to exceed $381,675. All right. So, is there a motion to approve this resolution?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
The DA is recommending a 3-step process, as you said. The first is to cancel the request, the previous request for proposal. Once that is approved, then we go to approve Resolution 2501. And then the third vote on this issue would be the 5% change order authorization.
Oh,
as
so we need, okay.
Yes, that's what the DA is recommending, Madam Chair.
Okay, so our first motion will be a motion to cancel the request for the proposal 2425-3. Is there a motion for that?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any comments? We're not ready for public comment yet.
That just paves the way for us to,
Yes.
to revise.
Would you be willing to repeat that motion one more time?
It's a motion to cancel request for proposal number 2425-3.
All right, so all those in favor?
Public comment, please.
Oh, we'll do the public comment after the third vote.
No, you do public comment before you vote.
No, actually, the Madam Chair has the authority to set the public comment as she wishes, so we'll proceed, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Okay, that motion passes. The second motion is a motion to approve Resolution 25-1. The resolution authorizes a direct contract with Gruen May, Inc., not to exceed the amount of $363,500 for permitting and construction, draining, repair, work, and services. Do I have a motion for that?
2425-3.
Yes.
You may be looking at old version.
Yeah,
That was the first one. Just passed that. We're on number 2.
That was 2.
yep, Madam Chair, I apologize. There's a typo. The DA made a typo in the second motion. I apologize, Madam Chair.
All right, hold on, order, because I can't hear Mr. B.
Yeah, there's a typo in the second proposed motion.
Okay.
You read it correctly, Madam Chair, but it should be, it's just a typo on my fault. It should be Resolution Fiscal Year 24-25-03.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Okay, so let's, I'll reread that. Motion to approve Resolution 2425-03. This resolution authorizes the direct contract with Gruen May not to exceed the amount of $363,500 for permitting and construction, draining, repair, work, and services.
I'll make that motion.
Okay,
I'll second.
we have a first and a second. Do we have any comments? Okay, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Number 3 is the motion to allow staff to approve change orders up to 5% of the contract cost with a not to exceed total cost for the project at $381,675. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
And I'll second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Public comment now?
Okay, Mr. Slavin?
Good evening. Ed Slavin, Box 3084. Please ask the State Attorney General for an opinion as to whether your 3 votes are a violation of public policy.
I'm sorry, Mr. Slavin, I couldn't hear you.
How about now? Can you hear me?
A little bit better.
Please vote to ask the State Attorney General for an opinion on this vote. I think it may be a contract violation of public policy in violation of Restatement of Contract 2nd, Section 178, contract violation of public policy. Do we have certified engineering plans for this project? Are we certain that this vote, that this project will solve the drainage problems here? Now, the history of the Anastasia Mosquito Control District of St. Johns County is such that under Mary Tarver Willis, we bought this land. We, the people, bought this land, knowing it was a swamp. And it was wrong. And it was wasteful. There was no appraisal, no survey, and no competitive bidding. And it was purchased from the Usina family, which is a very influential local family that was close to Miss Willis. Now, tonight, we're solving a drainage problem we knew we had when we bought swampland. So what are we going to do about that? Are we just going to keep throwing good money after bad? Do we have certified engineering drawings and not just Mr. Richard Weaver's say-so that it's okay? How would this appear? And do we have proper contract documents? Do we have proper contract documents with proper remedies? for us in case this goes south and it doesn't solve the drainage problem? We haven't had a presentation from an attorney addressing this. Ms. Hodges is no longer here. There's a gentleman who didn't even introduce himself, Mr. Bean, I gather. I don't think we've been treated with respect tonight. I wanted to speak. You had 3 votes. Learned counsel advised you that that was okay. I don't think it's okay. And I don't think Pat Gleason in the State Attorney General's office would say it was okay. To deny public comment on the 3 votes leading to the expenditure of some $400,000 and change for solving a drainage problem, do we have certified engineering drawings? Are we going to solve this problem, or are we just going to create more? And why in the name of all that's holy would you want to build on swampland without ever doing any of the things that you would do in purchasing property? No survey, no appraisal, no competitive bidding. This subtle corruption of our government by corporations and wealthy landowners is indefensible and must be ended at once. And I'm not satisfied with the way that y'all have disposed of this item in lockstep, and I'm very disappointed. And I wish that Ms. Gleason was here, because she had raised these issues, and she was treated very disrespectfully. And no one ever apologized to her for how she was treated. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. All right. And for those who don't know, Mr. Bean is our attorney for tonight, and he has been here 2 times before and introduced himself, and he is filling in for Ms. Hodges. Now we're moving on to number 3, our monthly financial report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Abe McKinney, staff accountant. Okay, I'm going to start with the Wells Fargo, our operation account. That's have a 1.4 million. And then 2 investment account. The first one is Wells Fargo sweep account. It's got a little bit over $6 million. Florida Prime, we have about $6 million. It's about 43.15% of total available fund in our Florida Prime investment account. And our EP account, which is Bank of America, we have $313,000. And all the available fund is $14 million. And then the second part is where all the money coming from. The first one from the taxes is about $1.3 million. That's a gross before the commission. And then Florida Prime, the return on investment is 4.53%. That number is switches. It's like top and bottom is switches. So the Florida Prime is at $21,000 for the return on investment. The next one is Wells Fargo sweep account. That's a $15,000. So it's kind of like top and bottom. I apologize. Okay. And scrap metal sales 167. Grant money is almost $8,000, which is coming from the European Society for Vector. That's a $666. And Florida Department of Environmental Protection. Is that right? Okay. That's is $7,250. Sorry, $7,250. And workshop, a little bit over $2,000. And education sales is a little bit over $900.
Is the workshop, is that people that have signed up to come to our workshop?
No, a workshop, yes, for the arbovirus workshop on the end of March, yes. So the next session is a DVEC sale. The income is $916. Expenditure part is a little bit over $8,000. And capital outlay part is a little bit over $21,000.
And do we have any more outstanding education center bills to pay? Or are we done?
We have a one check
They're not included in this amount. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that, what was it, the last one that you gave it to me? Lucky, yeah, but that's only one check that we have it right now. Yeah. Mhm.
So we're good in the budget. Thank you.
So the next one, I'm not going on with the budget amendment. So we're gonna pull out the budget amendment from the contingency, from the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. If you look at on the first page. So where's the money gonna go from the contingency is we hire the HR person, so they're gonna be like, the salary plus the benefit is a little bit over $74,000, that's what it's gonna go. And the second part is for the freight services, for the shipping and postages, that's gonna be $2,000. And the next one, we got a new drone, and then whatever the associated, related, expense, that's a $13,500 plus almost $8,000 for software and battery and stuff like that. And for the training, that's going to be $21,000. So that's all accounted for the $118,000. So we're going to pull out from the contingency.
Which is what we voted on to do.
Yes. Maybe later on, we can be probably able to pull it from the grant if we have extra money. It's getting close to the 100% right now. Is that right, Scott? Okay. Let me know any question. If I can't answer it right now, I can email you.
There's been a lot of talk on the Wall Street front about the market is at a very low right now. How is that for anything on the pension front for the employees or anything like that you think we need to be worried about financially coming up because of the different tariffs and stuff?
I don't know, Scott, can you answer that question?
You didn't bring your crystal ball?
Scott Hanna, AMCD CFO. With the FRS, if the pension investments perform poorly, they do make the employer contribute more. Right now, nothing has gone up in any large percentages. It's on the employee portion, we contribute about 13%. Last year, I think it was like an 11 to 12%. Elected officials and upper management, there's a higher percentage, but it's all based on investment performance. Right now, the interest rates, they're starting to come down. As far as our investments in the FRS and the Florida Prime, they're still hitting close to 5%. They're following the Fed fund rate, and those are based on short-term bond loan obligations. So there's no risky investments. They're all government compliant. So we're looking good. I mean,
I know a lot of teachers' unions had bought a lot of Tesla stock.
a lot. Oh, okay.
So their portfolio is now looking really good. So.
Yeah, we're FRS is not allowed to do that. Everything is really, it's short-term, AAA plus rated bonds, things like that. There's no speculation. The only thing that ever happened that was risky was back in 2007. They had some of the equity-backed home securities that were based on mortgage-backed securities right before the market crashed. So in 2007, FRS did take a gamble and put some money in that. And so we almost lost some money. And back then it was Governor, a lot of people try to say it was somebody else, but it was the guy right before Scott. What was his name? Chris. Yeah, Charlie Chris. He locked up our money. He locked up all the government's money because everybody was making a run on it. But they've gotten a lot tighter. In fact, they give us the And the auditor looks at the spec sheet of all the investments and looks at the companies. We look at it too, and we can always pull that for you anytime. In fact, when we first set up the sweep account, we gave you the whole list of the portfolio, and we can pull that anytime you want to see it. So we're pretty,
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hannah.
sure, thank you.
Commissioners, do you have any questions, comments on? All right.
Thanks.
Is there a motion to approve our amendment,
I'll motion to.
our arthropod control budget amendment for this month?
I will motion to approve the report and the budget.
The budget amendment for $100,000, $615.33.
Yes,
Said that
correct.
right. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All right. Yes, Mr. Slavin?
Ed Slavin, box 3084. For the record, we have 40% cost overruns.
How do you know that?
This is not a press conference. It's not appropriate to ask me questions in the middle of this question, in the middle of me talking. I think that's disrespectful.
Really?
This is called
Okay.
public comment. We have 40% cost overruns on the Mosquito Museum. We have had in the past a policy saying no more money for the Mosquito Museum. Now we're spending more. We're still spending more. There was a line drawn in the sand saying, this is it. And then I think, Chair Becker, did you say that it was a drop in the bucket to spend nearly $50,000 additional last year? I think that's inappropriate. It's our money. It's taxpayers' money. We have a right to know. And I think that we need a full independent forensic audit and operational audit of AMCD. We need to put money in the budget for it. We need to find an independent accounting organization, not the auditor who consults all the time with our staff. Not that person. Not someone who seems to have a conflict of interest and seems to be helping the staff to cover up stuff. Now, is that too much to ask? That we spend no more money on the Mosquito Museum? Because that was the vote of this board last year. And we're still spending money this time, last time, all the time. When will it stop? When will we get independent financial advice? When will we get an independent forensic and operational audit? It's not too much to ask. It's our money. People are incensed, first of all, by the Mosquito Museum. And I talked to the district's learned lobbyist, and he's in the background. He was very helpful. But he said that obviously the Speaker of the House, Mr. Renner, and other people had concerns with how much money the district had spent. Rather than heeding their concerns, we're still spending money on the Mosquito Museum. We're avoiding accountability. We're avoiding my open records requests from last spring. We haven't agreed to mediation by Pat Gleason in the State Attorney General's office. It would have been very easy for the district simply to say, yes, we'll agree to mediation. She's a lovely lady. She's been with the State Attorney General's office, I think, for 44 years? She was counsel to Governor Christ, and then she went back to the State Attorney General's office. But she is ready, willing, and able to mediate my open records requests, including those relating to the Mosquito Museum. It's our money. It's our money. And I learned a lot about government contracting in my mother's office at Camden County College in Blackwood, New Jersey. When I was 11 years old, she said, here, son, this is an invoice. Learn from it. This is an RFP. Learn from it. And she was the only secretary at that college to request a demotion. Cost her $6,000 a year because it was so corrupt. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Slavin.
Thank you.
All those in favor of,
Sorry, Chair. The museum cost, museum education center cost, last year in May and June, bought a vault, give ceiling. So far, we have not over the ceiling. Still on the ceiling, currently spending because small work, they have other job, can take a time, finish it, hopefully finish next week or finish. So everything still under the budget, board approved the budget, ratify the cost, everything still under there.
and our financial reports prove that.
Thank you.
All right, so do we have, all those in favor of the budget amendment, say aye? Aye?
Aye.
All right. And just to be clear, we don't have a mosquito museum, we have a disease vector educational center. All right. So next is going to be our new business on number 1, Dr. Shu.
Thank you. Yeah, this year, Washington, the legislation educate our legislator is more important. Currently, everybody heard about the USAID that our department, all the division abolished. So that the funding include funding for malaria in Africa and AIDS and other disease, infection disease, all get cut. Also, NIH and USDA, EPA, CDC grant get frozen. So the meeting, AMCD meeting, our workshop, they cannot come because the travel frozen. So that we do need to encourage American Mosquito Control Association to encourage every program, try to set more people going to DC and educate our legislation and show that we definitely need this kind of. Before every year we get some funding from the CDC. Now the CDC is no more funding. So hopefully the back to the Smart City program, keep the funding so we can get something, keep it going on, help our program. Not only our program, everybody program, small funding, keep it there. So that's the estimated cost in one person probably around $1,500. So hope our commission, you have time to join there. First day is just the training, our topic, hard topic, how to talk into your legislation. And the second day, going to Capitol Hall meeting your legislation. If you cannot meeting there, you can meet the officer, director, staff, so they pass some information. So American Mosquito Control Association prepare some talking point, major deal with support the CDC and support the USAID. USAID no more, but some sections still there. So help control the mosquito-borne disease and the vector-borne disease and keep some funding about the support every program. So this is very important. Also help the Commissioner TG Mazat for apply AMCD, AMC funding. They have $1,000 each year have funding for the Washington DC. I have no idea they get should be get yeah. So it's basic information. So I don't need a vote. I don't need just like no. I knew currently Commissioner TG Gung, Commissioner Gary Gung, Commissioner Trisha Baker is dependent time. Also, Commissioner Gina, I don't know you have time to go to DC or not. I know teaching full time, very busy. So yeah, really the elected officer, they really listen to your elected officer. You're going to show up, you're talking the point, they are really pay attention. They make the decision because they make the decision, listen to you. It's really American Mosquito Control or in our field really encourage you. If you can go, please join there. Thank you. We need a
And
vote
I would
for
certainly encourage all mosquito control districts to send their commissioners there because some of the senators and House members, they may only need 10,000 votes to win. My last election, I got almost 70,000. So they care about what we think because we're covering a larger area with a lot more constituents. And so our opinion should be that of the area. So they're really more willing to listen to us than if we send Dr. Qualls, even though she's a completely brilliant, but they want to hear from us up here. So it's very good if we can go. And there's also a call on Wednesday, March 19th. And that's kind of like to go over what you can expect, what's going to happen, what's our talking points. The AMCA lobbyist is typically on that call, and we'll kind of go over what we're going to do there and what can we expect if anybody's new and stuff. Dr. Qualls?
What I'd like
to add to this is, to Dr. Shu's point, is we think about CDC as like funding grants, but they also are very instrumental in the epidemiology laboratory capacity, and that supports state programs, right? So it's very instrumental that if the CDC also loses that ELC funding, for example, this will impact us. So Dr. Andrea Morrison, who's our vector-borne disease virologist in the EPI for this state, all of her staff that does the case investigations for like Orapooch, dengue, when we have those types of situations, all of her staff is funded under the ELC CDC funding. So it's not only just thinking about the grants that we get in, but the infrastructure at the state and local level for all states that get this funding to do important public health, vector-borne disease, epidemiology, and control. For example, Texas, the position that I was in when I was the state medical entomologist there, it was first year fully supported on ELC funds from the CDC, and then it was taken over by the state. So there's a lot of capacity that we could potentially lose. And so I think one of the major talking points that was sent out today from AMCA is about still advocating for the ELC funds, because it is such an important infrastructure for many states that don't have anything but, you know, some money coming in to support a position to help with like West Nile virus detection and prevention. So it's really important. And as to his point and your point, you know, you guys are the voices, right? So thank you.
And I think that we have 3 employees that may be affected by the grants. Is that right?
Yes,
Possibly. Have we found out for sure yet, or probably not?
not yet.
All right. All right, so,
We need a vote to approve 2 or 3 commissioners going to DC.
all right. So I don't think I can go that week. I'm graduating from college. So I would be more than happy to travel the week before there and meet with people. I typically have about 25, 30 meetings when I go there. Or I can set them up and you all can go there. That's something to think about. I have the travel already. So we'll save for,
Would we need a motion to fund you going, to represent us on a different time frame?
for the hotel, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, nobody tells our
So-
story like you do.
Well, that's because I'm loud.
Yeah, you need a
I'm
motion,
proud.
authority, 3 commissioners join the DC legislation meeting.
Okay.
So why don't we save for 3 now, and then next month I can let you all know
Okay.
if I can go or not, and then if I can't, then I can't. Okay, so do we have a motion to send
3
3 commissioners and how many staff?
I plan 2.
So 3 commissioners, 2 staff to Washington DC. Is there a motion on the floor for that?
I'll motion. Oh, go ahead.
No,
Okay.
and I'll
motion.
second it.
Okay. We have a first and a second. Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Now to, we can do that on the next one.
What?
We don't have to have public comment after every single one.
No, you don't.
No, we don't.
No, you don't.
All right, so new business number 3 is about our AMCA meeting. I
Number
had
2.
the flu,
Thank you.
so that was great. So I did not
Thank
know.
you.
So
Thank you for 2 commissioners joining the AMC annual meeting. The meeting was a surprise, very successful. So they have 22 symposium, over 350 the paper submission. So the 947 registration was more than we thought. So there's lots of positive feedback, lots of new technology. Also, the commissioner took some field trip, and I was the president since Friday normal, MCA. So we joined the annual meeting, gave the president's address, and the president gave different award in the panel meeting. Also have a symposium about director and manager, daily dilemma, share information each other, help each other. Attract many people join this symposium. Also, Commissioner Baker was nominated and received the President Award for her contribution for American Mosquito Control Association legislation and the recognition of mosquito control professionally and important to public health by our Congressman Roseford from the session floor. This is the first time, and our Congressman from the floor for the nation recognizes the mosquito control is a professional, and AMC is very, very appreciative and helpful, and the AMC and use that his speech for Facebook, for anything, it's very good, yeah, for promotion, for public education. That's the first time the congressman from Florida recognized the mosquito control professionally and very important to public health. So that's the award citation for that. The body very strong support. So that other thing that Dr. Pepper and Dr. Cole and Cole also that one student employee, Mr. Cooper, and joined the meeting. We have two symposiums. Dr. Cole has one military and transition for civil services symposium, and Dr. Pepper has a national arboreal surveillance symposium. And Mr. Connor Cooper's partially funded by industry. AMC gave $1,000 for travel, and the rest we pay for per diem something. So the meeting is really very interesting. We learned a lot, and the topic really lots of new technology. It's hopefully we can have slowly, gradually update our equipment, update our procedure. Because that's the next 10 years, AI technology. That's the very fast technology. Not only ChatGPT, not only drone, include many kind of stuff, robot and everything you can see every day. We have to try to following up, catch the new technology. So this is the future. This is definitely beneficial program. That's my report. Also, I would like to use the opportunity and present the award to Commissioner Baker to recognize it for contribution for our American mosquito control professional work. She was not just in the meeting.
I think Dr. Qualls accepted it for you at the conference.
And did you get to say my speech? All right.
Yep.
This American Mosquito Control Association, in recognition of your passionate dedication
Let me take a
and
picture.
contribution to the American Mosquito Control Association, presented the 91st annual meeting of the American Mosquito Control Association. Sign one for the recall.
All right.
And here,
So that they're interested in that, ask me you can see again, help us. No, you help us. So funding.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, everybody get nervous about it. The cancer USAID department is something it's cutting lots of funding. Everybody nervous. And so hopefully our elect officer help get some funding, keep the business. Thank you.
And for anyone that doesn't know, what Dr. Hsu was talking about, our Congressman, Mr. John Rutherford, went on the House floor and gave a 2-minute speech about AMCD and mosquito control in general that I helped write with the staff member. And so we have that video, the first thing you see on our website. And so it's really gone over very well. He has a very strong voice. He was a sheriff, so he knows what it's like. We are first responders. We're not the ones that everyone thinks of, but we do save lives. We just do it in a different way.
Yeah, he came out here, thank you, invited him come in twice, visit, or in his YouTube or Facebook, I have lots of, share information, how the nation, even international knew him, knew the AMCD, AMCA, not only AMCD, or AMCA. So very good, positive outreach.
So another reason why it's so important to go to DC. So thank you very much for that. Commissioners?
I learned a lot. I thought it was a great conference, a great event that Director Rudy Hsu, Dr. Hsu put on. I learned of the passion that these doctors and scientists have for this field in entomology and vector-borne diseases. And I believe that the research is there, the data is there. I think that the data being collected is crucial, and it's going to play a big role in the future public health and the future of Florida. So I think it's very important what we're doing, and I think it's important that we continue to do it. So yeah, I have pages and pages of notes and things that I learned, which I'll spare you guys right now, but it was a fantastic conference. I'm glad I went. I learned a lot.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, it's like almost learning overload when you go, because it's just so
It was-
many
it
things
was a
that you
lot.
don't
I
think
had a
about.
lot
It's
to
not
do.
just, oh, swatting a mosquito, and oh,
Yeah.
we're paying a check. It's a lot of stuff.
Yes, it is.
Did you have anything on?
No, not really.
Okay.
It was great. I was very proud to be part of Anastasia Mosquito Control.
And I'm thrilled, you guys didn't have to experience an earthquake. I think the last time the commissioners went, there was a hurricane and an earthquake, so I'm glad that did not happen.
I missed that one.
All right. So now we can move on to new business number 3, and that has to do with our discussion and approval of our hiring a lobbyist firm. I'm sorry, I lost my. All right, so when we talked about, I've talked about it a few different times, that we need a lobbyist. We certainly need one now. Again, there's already been 3 different bills that have been drafted to completely reduce in the next few years by step ad valorem taxes, other taxes with property tax, and that all affects us. And we know we're going to have another target on our back because we are educating the public. And so some of the other counties that have a lobbyist already is the Florida Keys, Mosquito Control, Pasco County, our neighbors at East Flagler, Manatee, Buckhead Ridge, Collier County, and Lee County. So, you know, and we heard that at Dodd when we were at our commissioners day. I know you all weren't there, but we had a whole series on lobbying and the importance of hiring a lobbyist and having somebody that's in those hallways with our lawmakers. So I'd like to introduce you, Mr. Robert, if you'd like to come up. Sure. And thank you for driving all the way from Tallahassee to be here tonight.
You're very welcome, Madam Chairman, Commissioners, Dr. Zhu, Shu. Glad to be here. I really enjoyed what we did last year and our working relationship with the commission and with the staff. You know, there's that old adage in Tallahassee that if you don't have a seat at the table, you're what's for dinner. And last year, you were for dinner. I mean,
We were the main course.
You were the main course. The leadership was sharpening the knife, and by the time I got involved, they were about ready to cut. So, with a lot of hard work and getting in to see the speaker, you know, during non-business hours, if you will, and others, we were able to, you know, make sure that you weren't for dinner, and that we were kind of put off to the side, and we ran off the clock basically during the legislative session. And then when I came back last summer, I suggested that the way not to do that is to have that continuing relationship, not unlike I have with all of our other clients as we travel around during the summer and as we talk as we walk through the halls and what we do, and always reminding people, not just the legislators that you have, you know, your local delegation, who are all 3 are new, and by the way, I know that 2 of them at least have been here, but also the leadership and folks that really make the decisions, especially in the House and the Senate, because it's such a top-down driven process these days on that. So you really, you need the locals, but you also need that whole broad base of folks. And you're right, there's some legislation that's been pending. Anytime that there's legislation pending that acts as an opportunity for amendment or the mandatory process for what I would call shenanigans, really, to put us back on the table. You have to be vigilant, and you have to know what's going on, and you have to be in there and talk to even though then there are two or three bills pending now or that have been filed, and they may not have anything to do with mosquito districts, but they have something to do with special districts. So it's incumbent upon myself and my partner Meredith, who you've met before when she was here, to make sure we get with those stakeholders and also the sponsors of the bill to let them know, where we are, find out if they have any inclination to, maybe target us or what their idea of really the bill is, and to continue to monitor that and make sure, because as you saw last year or heard back from what we did last year, many times we're just walking through the halls and we find things out, right? Because we hear people talk and we're on the ground. And that's basically lobbying. Is we suit up and we show up and we go over there and we make sure that your issues are heard and make sure to keep you off the table. As I said last year, last year was a one-time deal because you were in trouble that Friday that I talked to staff and to get everything under control over that weekend and continued out through that session. And that was the price for last year. But then when I came back last summer, I suggested that to keep this on an ongoing basis, that we do the $4,000 a month, and that keeps the flow going. That keeps us talking about. And look, I was on contract last year till the end of the fiscal year. I talked about you all last summer, and even after, and even in the fall, after the contract was up, I had discussions with staff, and I came here in December, and we met, and I talked to, and the new legislators from this area. I let them know that I'd represented you in the past, and hopefully I will again, just to make sure that they know that there's somebody there. And in fact, this week, a few of them came to me based on an email they got and asked me, if I was engaged yet and what was going on. And I told them I was meeting today. So, that in a nutshell is, and you know who we are, and we want to continue the relationship. I'd be happy to answer any questions. And one more thing. So next week, I believe I've watched all of the meetings before. I know for sure that Commissioner Mazat, you're going to be in Tallahassee next week for sure, and I don't know if anyone else is for sure. Commissioner, and you were there last year. And I'll be happy to set up meetings with the local delegation and with Dr. and whoever's there, and we'll go apart from the association, and we'll go and we'll have our own meetings with the local delegates, and I'll get with you pending your approval tonight, and find out when you're going to be in town. We can set all that up. Okay. Be happy to do that. Well, not be happy. That's part of what we do, right?
And Commissioner Mazzota, just so you know, so last year, all of a sudden, there was a bunch of talk about us in the Capitol. On a Friday, it was, you guys, the knife is touching our necks, and on Monday, they voted. And if we did not have him, I think we would have.
Yeah, kind of like that. They didn't actually vote on Monday, but on a Sunday, I had the opportunity to talk with the people who matter and the people who were sharpening that knife, and met with them in person. And by Monday, it had cooled a little bit. And then by the end of that week, technically, we were in a lot better shape. But I was given some pretty decent assurances by that Monday that we were not out of the woods, but we were in decent shape. So.
Hopefully it's not that bad this year.
No, and look, I don't think it is, but that's just it. Through the chair, I really don't think we aren't. It's not like that it was last year, to be clear. But at the same time, you never know, and that's why all of our clients, they keep us for 1 year we may not do anything for them, but the legislators know who we are and who they are. And so when they are up, when it's their turn on the ladder, we step in and we're there. That's the type of continuity that I believe that you guys deserve and that we would like to provide.
I wanted to know, well, if you happen to know, one of the bills that I cannot remember his name, but that somebody proposed to start looking into the ad valorem taxes, it had the word municipalities, and I didn't see the word special district. Do you think that that is something that
It would
could
all-
be added easily, or?
Yes, I mean, anything can be added, and fairly easily. It has to, on something like that, on that bill, they could add it. Yeah, a short answer. Yeah, we have the governor that he hasn't said it this week that I know of, but in the past 3 weeks, he said it at least once and I think twice, talking about doing away with property taxes altogether. And maybe start that process. And he's not the first leader to talk about that. And, we'll see where that goes.
Excellent.
So,
Commissioners, any questions, comments? Mr. Slavin, I know that you emailed a few questions you had for Mr. Hawken. I don't know how you can both be up there at the same time, maybe? You could decide.
Actually, that's correct. Have some records requests. I had a lovely conversation with the gentleman. My mentor there, Tucker, Farm Bureau Federation, also the healthcare. I know a lot about lobbying in that area, and that's in St. Johns County. So I look forward to the district under 1190701 lobbying documents. But the Learned Council said I had to put one public comment on 3 items. So let me start with the Center for
Excuse me, Mr. Slavin. Well, I'm talking about, I thought you had questions for the lobbyists.
I do, and there are records of those. So I'm asking for response. Please direct under 1190701 the documents that you have related to the district to be provided to the district and by me. Now, on the Centers for Disease Control, Learned Council said I couldn't talk before you voted. I think it's a very important issue, Centers for Disease Control, and there is an attack on science in the current presidential administration. When you're in Washington, I hope you will know this. It's not just people like paradigms. There are people like Fulbright grants abroad who aren't able to come home because of attacks by Elon Musk and Doge. And I think we need to take a position on that and maybe pass a resolution in your lobbying, which I think the best lobbyists are always the district's employees and staff people and commissioners. But never did get an answer about mediation. You agree to mediation about the records request for pending for the lobbyists. Will you provide the certified engineering drawings on the drainage work? Never answered on that.
This has nothing to do with Mr. Hawkins, though.
Ma'am, your counsel told me I couldn't talk until now. I'm trying to combine into one public comment. 3 items. You keep interrupting.
Okay, I was going to allow you to do that after we're done with our new business. So do you have anything further about Mr. Hawkins?
I would like him to answer those questions. I would like him to provide those documents under 1190701. And let me just end by saying Stephen Corcoran was very clear in saying that he thinks it's against public policy to have a lobby. I know that there's some parts of Florida government, like the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind, it's illegal for them to hire a lobbyist. They can have any number of employees for the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind, but they can't hire a lobbyist. And I think it's a question for our policy committee. Who would be hiring lobbyists? And why was it 100,000? How was the fee? So I need those documents in order to have a policy discussion. But I do appreciate your time and your answers. And I'll have to turn in one card for 3 items. And I think Learned Council will
All right, so we, no,
No.
thank you.
Thank you.
So, Madam Chair, the motion would be to approve the engagement with Lease Consulting with the caveat that the DA has the opportunity to finalize the negotiations and for you to be able to execute after those negotiations are completed. You have an engagement letter in your file. The DA would like to do a different type of agreement, but so that we can move forward with the continued services, we would have the vote to agree to do that. The numbers stay the same. It's just the DA has some either items she wants to include that are not in your engagement letter.
Yes, through the chair, and I knew that by watching all of your board meetings throughout the winter, and knew that you were trying to streamline that and have
Correct.
one document. And I actually am very, very happy with all that, and move forward and get us suited up and going. That can all be worked out. Those are just details. And one last thing about Richard Corcoran, former speaker, who's now the president of New College of Florida. He was speaker 12 years ago, I believe, and most people realize that the Speaker of the House is one of the most powerful politicians in the state. And if Speaker Corcoran, if he really believed that, which he probably did at the time, not probably, he did, but if he really wanted to do something about that, to get rid of lobbyists for anybody, he certainly had the power to do so, and he did. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so do I have a motion to approve hiring Mr. Robert Hawken to become our lobbyist again from March 1st to September 30th at $4,000 a month? And after the contract is
Finalized.
edited by our attorney.
Thank you.
Finalized.
I'll motion for Mr. Hawken to be our lobbyist.
Okay, and do I have a second? Okay, we have the first and the second. Any more discussions? Okay, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, and thank you, Mr. Hawkins. All right. Okay, Mr. Slavin, you have 3 minutes to talk about whatever you wanted to talk about. We're trying to streamline our meetings. So in the future, we're going to have public comment before our business and then public comment after, just like the school board, just like we discussed last month.
Well, first of all, on mediation, when a citizen requests records, and the following citizen makes a request for mediation never even, thank you, and you never even respond yay or nay. You don't even look crosswise. You don't even say, why won't you agree to mediation? It's how we solve disputes in records requests. And I've been making records requests since the 70s, 80s. We got the biggest mercury pollution event in world history declassified in Oak Ridge, Tennessee in 1983. And it only took 182 days for the United States Department of Energy to declassify the fact that they dumped 4.2 million pounds of mercury into Oak Ridge creeks and groundwater. 182 days. It took less time for Oak Ridge to actually provide those historic documents. And Joe Ben Lagrone, who was the manager of Oak Ridge operations, actually ordered Union Carbide to incur overtime and to get me those records. It was 6 cartons of documents, 30,000 pages. And I have a photograph that a friend took at that time. It showed me hauling one of the boxes. And the caption was, "What? Only 30,000 pages? I asked for all your documents." Since then, we've learned that the United States Department of Energy, DOE, otherwise known as denier of everything, they did far more than that. They poisoned workers all over the country in 7 different states. But it didn't take DOE as long to provide documents as it has taken AMCD not to provide any documents and to be disrespectful and disputatious and kicking the can down the road It's almost like it was election interference. It was almost like AMCD wanted to keep people from learning about the cost overruns on the Mosquito Museum, the cost overruns on other items, and management issues, which are raised in the letter that Commissioner Gleason, those same management issues are in the letter that Commissioner Gleason sent to the governor and the Secretary of Agriculture. Those issues are not going away. You may smirk, you may look me down the road, you may have learned counsel give maladroit answers saying that I can't ask to speak on each item as it comes up, that I'm supposed to speak on an item after it's voted. That dog won't hunt. Will you all agree to mediation? Will you agree to let Pat Gleason help us get our records now, which we asked for last spring? Is that too much to ask? It's our money. They're our documents. You work for us. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And now we'll move on to director reports.
Thank you, Chair. First day, the season will be started soon. We have prepared already for surveillance and the center chicken and the trap and all equipment. So we plan to, from the first week, April, and started the season. And the second, that annual program report is ready, attachment. So tomorrow we will release and send to our collaboration, publishing our website, the annual program report. So far, we have not get any feedback, so thank you staff for the hard work and put it together. So this year, last year, 2014, was the most successful year. And we, without any local or called mosquito-borne disease, any human case, or even no any trouble related to mosquito-borne disease. That was a surprise. It's a 4 hurricane pass and drop last rain, total 58-inch rain. The mosquito population outbreak is 3-4 times. So that's employee very, very hard work. Also the disease vector education center, our public reach education specialist and the science team did a lot of good outreach work. We accepted over 10,000 people visit, mostly 60% as children and parents. I believe this is a part of APM integrated pest management and mosquito control management is successful. Just teaching, okay, how to prevent mosquito. This is lots of successful. I believe this, but hard to currently use the data, use the kind of evaluation. Hopefully, future will have some kind of graduate student concentrating doing some this kind of stuff. It's how to evaluate education, the efficacy, effectiveness. Everybody knows that education very, very important. How to evaluate it. The people after the visit maybe go to home after rain the town over container, no mosquito, no water, no mosquito. There'll be no disease. When mosquito biting active time, the new life cycle, so they can stay at home at the time, most peak time. That's a evolved medical issue. So education, very, very important for public education. So I'm really happy and thank you board made the right decision. Let's spend about total spend will be $4.4 million for the center. So this center bring lots of money, current value around $7 million current value. The last stuff, specimen is priceless. You even I first think largest mosquito, longest largest insects, wider insects, bigger insects. This lots is a department entomology and division plant industry, lots of donation. They spend lots of time to really appreciate, or the campaigning, some lots of donation. It's a lot of stuff that really is priceless. Yeah. So everybody, any kind of level people going to the education center, learn something, definitely put on a different section fitting for them. So really thank you, appreciate it. So workshop, March 25th to 27th, everything is ready. So this morning we have our employee meeting. So so far we get over 50 registration. So next week I believe we'll have more. Expect about 200 to 250 registration come to a meeting. Last 2 years we have over 300 people. But this year, as I knew, USD, federal government employee, CDC, and the other worker university, based on grant, NIH grant, NSF grant, CDC grant, because of freezing grant, they cannot come here for travel. There's just estimate about 40 people cannot come. Military still can come. I received message yesterday, Navy they can come here. Maybe 6, 7 people can join the meeting. Rest is a federal government employee cannot come for the meeting. Even in Seville, we started the project workshop. So they come here, try to outreach, looking for collaboration. We are stuck hard, so that they cannot not allowed to travel the short distance, daily short distance. So that's the way the current information. So other thing, we are lucky and very happy has Mr.
Right there, right up front.
It's our first history, first HR.
Could we have her introduce herself then?
Yeah, you can. Okay, that's good.
Our newest rock star.
Hello, my name is Sheila Rivera. I'm the new HR generalist here. I started on Monday. Do you want to ask me anything or do you want me to? Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you. So far, I'm very impressed with the staff. They have been very welcoming. I'm very impressed with what they have been able to do, wearing many hats and taking care of all their HR duties, as well as their jobs. So I'm looking forward to helping them implement a strategy to help our employees and make sure that they are being served.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
she served military Navy for many years, HR. Last 4 years, worked for Xinjiang County government.
Yeah, I think we got a very, very good qualified lady that's going to be able to help us go into our positive direction we're going into this year. So thank you very much for joining the team.
Thank you.
Okay, attorneys' comments?
No report, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All right, so now we'll move on to commissioner comments. Commissioner LeBlanc, do you want to start?
I would like to thank the staff for all their hard work, and I will keep it at that.
Commissioner Rizzo?
Sure, I'd like to also thank the staff and thank everybody that comes out to the meetings and that maybe just came out to this one. God bless, have a good rest of your week, enjoy your weekend. Thank you guys, we'll reconvene next month. Looking forward to it.
And Commissioner Gardner?
I must thank everyone for their hard work, and I appreciate it.
And I know that I've probably talked enough already, so, but one of the things on my SWOT analysis was that we need a few more employees because many of our employees do a lot of jobs, and we know that you all do, and we thank you for all the hard work that you do. So it's wonderful that we have a generalist now that's very well experienced, and I think is going to be able to smooth out our operations and excel things in a very positive way. And I hope that everyone takes advantage of the beautiful weather and going outside. And Mr. Hawkins, while you're up there at the Capitol, please let representatives know that we have a new mosquito virus in the state, which is Oropouche. Or am I saying it right?
Yes, correct.
I always want to put the Italian, like Oropouche, Oropouche on it. And it's mainly coming from Caribbean countries, Cuba, South America. It's now the second recorded mosquito virus that can be transmitted, they think, sexually. So that is a very scary thing. It's neurological issues that you get with that. And so they've had a few outbreaks already. I'm not sure how many cases we've had in the state. Do you know, Dr. Cole? 60? Or maybe that was
They're
for the
all
country.
travel-related.
Travel related. So travel related, so that means, they came here and left us a present. So we don't want to spread those presents to anybody else. So that's, just another new thing to come up. And the real exposure of that has not happened yet. And so the other mosquito districts are fighting very hard to make sure that doesn't happen. But you might want to let people up there know, because it could certainly affect our tourism very terribly.
I'll give it that paper.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Meeting adjourned.